New Orleans Saints on the road at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Saints find themselves as now 2-point road underdogs to the Philadelphia Eagles, a total of 43 and a half in this one. Brad, we have this Eagles team that the air quotes sharps have been betting every single week for the last month, and they continue to take money in this one. There was a book that opened the Saints as a favorite in this one, and that instantly flipped. We've seen them continue to take money. This was at 1.5. Now it's at 2 in favor of the Eagles. We had talked about this on the pod, that the advanced metrics weren't really matching up with what we were getting from them on the field. We saw that the numbers said that we should be seeing a different team than we were actually seeing. And, listen, over the past 3 weeks, this team has become like an old school Big 12 power running team. Like it's running the ball at a 68% clip in situation neutral in today's 2021 in the year of our Lord NFL. 68% in situation neutral is unheard of in today's NFL, but that's what they've been doing. And for whatever reason, it has been working. Do you think that continues to work against hey, look, we cannot be in love with the Saints offense. We cannot be in love with a lot of things about the Saints, but the one thing that you can like is the Saints rush defense.
Yeah, exactly. So those three opponents that they were doing that against averaged 25th in rush defense DVOA. The Broncos came into last week missing both inside linebackers, both outside linebackers. And the Eagles ran all over them. Obviously, they ran all over the Lions, who've got zero defensive talent. Chargers, worst rush defense in the NFL. Now it's the Saints, as you say, the very best rush defense in the NFL by pretty much whatever measure you want to use. So that means we're back to the game falling on Jalen Hurts and probably the passing game. And we saw through the first 7 weeks of the season that's not really working for them. They can probably stick Lattimore on Devontae Smith. Goddard possibly ruled out. I think he's on injury. He was out of the game last week anyway. We'll see what happens to him, whether he plays. But they don't have many weapons after that, and you don't want Hurts being a pure passer because he's not very good at it. Now the market is interesting, isn't it? Because both these teams have been bet quite regularly. They've both been steamed quite a lot. I like the Saints side here. I don't think they should be underdogs. Like if you can get plus 115, plus 120, I think that's worth a bet. A, because of that matchup, and B, because Simeon's been pretty good. He's eighth. He was the 8th graded quarterback in the NFL last week. They should have beaten the Titans. They hit 6.1 yards per play to 4.6 for Tennessee. There was the weird stuff with the ref. There was fumbles on a kick return. They were the better team. They've been good on the road all year long. And this line says that they're not the better team here, and I just disagree, basically.
So as far as Goddard, had to leave that game in the concussion protocol, did not practice on Wednesday. Steven, typically when we see these guys that are going to make it out of protocol, they're allowed to practice on Wednesdays or at least be out there in limited fashion. Goddard not practicing on Wednesday. Now, that's not to say he ain't going to play, but that is at least a tiny bit of a tell here where when we've seen these guys make it back in a week off of the concussion protocol, they're at least doing something on the Wednesday practice. So maybe that's a bit of a tell that Goddard isn't going to be available for the Eagles this week.
Definitely. I think Brad summed up the Eagles situation pretty well in this game. And full transparency, I was dead wrong about Philly last week. I mean, I sat here and preached about how I thought their advanced metrics were inflated by garbage time. And I still think that was the case, but I just think I chose the wrong opponent to fade them against with a Denver defense that was a shell of itself from its early weeks of the season when they were fully healthy. I mean, they're 25th in weighted DVOA overall. So like Brad mentioned, this is a totally different opponent, a very stout defense that matches up well with what the Eagles want to do well. So I'm going to be very curious here if the Eagles come out and try to do the same thing they've done for the past couple of weeks, or if they go back to what they were in the first month of the season where they were extremely run heavy. I can't emphasize enough how extreme the flip has been from the Eagles the first month of the season to the last couple of weeks in terms of passing over expectation and now passing under expectation. So it's interesting to see what they do in this specific matchup. With that being said, the look ahead line here was Saints -1. It's flipped, I think, 3 points at this point to make the Eagles a 2-point favorite. So now we're getting into potential teaser leg territory. If you believe it's a bad matchup for the Philadelphia Eagles and you can get the Saints through the 3 and through the 7 as a teaser leg, it's always scary to go against the market, especially one of their favorite teams this year. They keep steaming this team every single week with the Eagles, but I think I was just maybe a week early in fading them.
Yeah, so I did play the Saints in a teaser actually, and do have them in a teaser leg, and I'm feeling pretty okay with that because I'm just reading the tea leaves here, and again I don't know if you guys know it. I've never been to 1 minute of medical school. I have no idea. But I do think that Goddard, with that concussion, not being able to practice on Wednesday, we've seen that kind of time and time again where when that happens, that these guys are not able to make it back out there. So I'm kind of reading the tea leaves of that. And then Alvin Kamara. This other thing about this past week with the Saints, who were right there to beat the Titans. They did that without Alvin Kamara being out on the field. Alvin Kamara back at...
They just missed 2 extra points. Two missed extra points.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara back on the practice field on Wednesday as well. So it looks like he's trending towards playing this week. And so if you're going to give me, like you said, Stephen, through the field goal, through the touchdown against an Eagles team that is going to be forced to do what I think that they're pretty bad at, which is passing right now. Like, look, they were running and it was very impressive. And don't get me wrong, I think that was great. But they were hiding Jalen Hurts that whole time because they are not confident in his passing skills and what he's able to do on a week-to-week basis. And so for me, love the Saints in a teaser leg here. And as Brett said, maybe even a little sprinkle there on them on the money line.